Let me just check if we are live on YouTube. Hopefully we're gonna have more platforms coming soon, so we're gonna multi-stream on different platforms: Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, D-Live, all the custom streaming platforms, you name it. I'm just working on the technical side. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna try to cover as frequently as possible the world news, things that we're interested in, politics, science, technology, spirituality, you name it, even sports. I'm not a big sports fan, but we're gonna go a bit into the sports if it touches the political side of it. So let's just see if we can start. Guest here today, co-host, you name it, Andras. Are you around? Ready for business?
Yeah, let's ready for news.
Good.
Let's crunch it.
If you can you quickly jump on YouTube and check if the sound quality and the image quality is good, and then we can go ahead and just start jumping into the news. I had a quick look at it. I cannot check the sound because it's gonna be a loopy, but if you can do that, it would be great. It's lukcast, the English channel.
I'm on it, checking now.
Great. So you the single person that's watching now live. So I think we're gonna be alright. So let's jump into the first news. I'm gonna open it up on the screen so you guys can see.
There's a delay in the news a bit, but the quality.
Well, it's normal. Delay is always normal. It has to go to America and come back to London. So the first news I wanna jump into is an article written on Substack.com. Substack.com is basically a website where anybody, freelance journalists, can post their own articles and then in a way obviously make some money off of it by people supporting the freelance journalist. So this article says the horrifying rise of total mass media blackouts on inconvenient news stories. And here, this article, I really recommend everybody to read it. It outlines how biased websites are and how we impacted by this. So you can name all the websites. I don't go into details, and news companies. They all do the same thing. If it doesn't fit the official narrative, they're not going to report on it. If it's Democrats and if it's a lefty news channel, they're not going to report on it. The same thing. I'm not going to name names. If it's a right-wing politician, they're not going to trash talk it on their channel. And this is not unbiased reporting. Back in the days, you had newspapers, they reported the news. Now you have just propaganda mouthpieces, and it's sad to see. That's why we need alternative news, alternative voices, alternative opinions. Obviously, as much of a fact-check the news and opinions as you can, because we cannot rely anymore on global companies who are focused on profits to give us the unbiased and true news. So yeah, hand it over to you, Andras. What do you think about
definitely it's rising. The mass media pushing the propaganda, as you say, is just getting to like into a horrifying place now. But on the other side, I can see the independent voices rising a lot, and everybody can be questioned pretty easily. And I think it's just hopefully it's just the last battle with the mass media, what's going on, before it's going to collapse. I'm hoping in this. By the alternative platforms you mentioned, it's like everybody can have a voice, and they're just fighting back hardcore against all these voices.
Yeah, you don't want to have, when it comes to news and opinions, you don't want to have just one news source, and you don't just want to have one opinion, because that's how you get to the bottom, to the facts, to the truth. Is like when you compare your notes and you see, oh, this is actually dodgy. Because if we talk about America, but it's same always, almost in every country. Just taking America as an example, you take the news, one, it says that what you're looking at it is red, and the other one, it says says that it's blue, and you sitting in the middle and thinking it's not blue, it's not red, it's purple. But these people, they're not going to address this purple because it doesn't fit their narratives. So it's good that we have alternative news, and what I see is slowly they, when a body is dying or something's dying off, they're kicking and screaming. That's what I see now, that old media is kicking and screaming, trying to buy up competition, trying to manipulate the sources that people get their news from. But if you look at organically, the future is in people taking their own free time and investing time to find out of what really happened, and it's a good thing. This is how it should be. Small local news agencies that can operate globally with the help of the internet as well, and being a functioning business by people who support it from all around the world. So if somebody is listening to a guy who's talking about the news and you like what he's doing, then you can support his work from anywhere in the world, and you can listen to him live or either on a replay. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next news. Andras, something big happened yesterday involving England. What do you think about the events that unfolded yesterday, including the main event, which was obviously the football, but we had other minor events happening around Wembley and the game between England and Italy. So I just pulled up an article by the Mirror. England fans repeatedly kicked in the head as teen push in face amid Wembley chaos. So basically a lot of supporters who didn't have the ticket. Was a major game. It didn't happen since 1966 if I remember right, but don't fact check me on that. And everybody wanted to be in the stadium. I did live in Wembley area in the past. I know exactly what I actually worked. I think Andras, you worked as well in Wembley Stadium, so we actually know the ins and outs of that stadium, how it works, the size and the whole security, how it functions. And what I saw, the clips, people rushing the gates, pushing, punching, it was just crazy seeing that, how people behave on a national game.
Well, okay. A few things. Like always, like football games, there's some kind of things happening always, and usually it's the
Different animal.
10% or now it's 10% or even less who's making trouble. It was just a huge amount of people all over London and all over Wembley, everywhere. Well, it involves alcohol, everything. So it's always happens. It doesn't matter where it's made or anything happens, but that's something is bad. It's every time is bad when it happens, but let's not take away from the game. So the game was very good, interesting. England could have won it in the first half easily after the Italians came back, and they came back strong after 1-1 and overtime and after penalty kicks. England lost, but Italy win. So it's England did very good, and English football came up a lot as a national team, which comes in the funny prediction what Greg Dyke, British journalist, made in 2013, that his 10 years plan, he was pointed out England should get into the 2020 Euro Cup finals or quarterfinals, and he should progress to win the 2020 World Cup. So his prediction came in pretty good. So
let me just
England
read the
showed.
title of the article if somebody's just listening. FA Chiefs 10 years prediction for England are eerily accurate. So you can find the article on ledbible.com, and I didn't read the article, so let's continue.
Yeah. So that's it. And so British football is going on the right way, and you can jump in the next news.
It does go in the right way, but I don't want to take away the score. I don't want to take away the hard work from the players, but there's couple of issues we have to focus on. I'm not a big football fan. To be honest with you, I don't really care about football. I'm mostly focused on the social issues and on the political issues that we facing and that we see unfolding around football. And another issue that I just saw this morning in the Guardian says England may have lost, but Southgate team shows us the nation. Sorry. So basically, I pulled up the wrong article. That's why I'm a bit confused. Let me just find.
It's fine. So basically, that article is about that the England team did really good and went as far as they didn't do before for the last 55 years, and gave a really big celebration for the country. Everybody was together. So football showed its power. And everybody was together. So that's it. Basically, it's nothing to the English team, and everybody who supports England should be proud what they achieved. I think it's a remarkable performance what they did. Always, football is like that. There's winners and losers. So I think they did great.
Yeah. One article I have to. It's on the negative side. I know you tried to keep it on the positive, but I do have to mention it because we covered the good, the bad, and the ugly. When the game was between Denmark and England, there was an incident in Wembley where a family, a young boy of 9 years old, or was it a girl? Help me out here on the rush. Okay, that's not caught up in the details. So a kid of 9 years old and the family, mom Danish, dad American, and they were harassed by English fans in Wembley, and they were putting the child's life in danger. I think this is unacceptable behavior, and leading to the next story, which I'm trying to find, is after missing 3 penalty kicks, English player got harassed on social media with racist slurs. And another thing, this is what I wanted to get to, is football. I appreciate that people are supporting a national team, but we have to focus on the I said good, the bad, and the ugly. And the bad and the ugly is that football has a history of being tied to different groups, and this has to be mentioned, that there's no space, there's no place for racism when it comes to any subject, but especially when you have an English team, English people are representing it, and then you get caught up by whatever ethnicity, skin color, religion. It's just stupid. Like I don't know, what's your opinion on it?
Exactly, there's no place for this one. And I saw even videos about like another black-skinned supporter being harassed, English supporter, by other English supporters. So racism is there. It's always there. So it's just something that it needs to be cut out, and especially how people can turn, because they were caught up in like what was the skin color of the player who they always support and cheer for, but if he misses a penalty, then we attack all his race. So it's just a low percentage of stupid people who's like making these
and the media behavior always focuses on these stories.
Of course,
and,
that's
It's not the 99%. It's a small fraction, but they get all the attentions because the noise that they're making is outrageous, and normal people will go like, "This is not normal. You shouldn't do shit like this." Like
exactly. But it's like I've been on. Yeah, it's fans now have different, let's say, utilities to use to. Before it was just on the game, always there was something. I remember in 1995 when I was on a Newcastle game in Hungary back then, and there was the same thing going on each side, and it's just getting really out of control, and we're just not expecting this anymore. So it's 2021. This behavior should be cut out from this, and because it's just destroying the masses experience.
And the whole beauty of sports, you know, when we're cheering together and we're trying to, you know,
Exactly.
because end of the day, like, it doesn't matter who won, doesn't matter if Italy won, it doesn't matter who England won. It's a game. End of the day, I play a lot of with friends video games, and that's what always when we lose our shit. It's like it's just a game. Like, end of the day, it's just a game. It's a friendly competition, and let the best win. You know, it's like you want this. You don't want to have a biased competition where let the best team, let the best player win. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Another sports news: Conor McGregor broke his leg in a mid-fight. So yeah, that was ugly. Seeing that, that was ugly. And yeah, what do you think about that, Andras? Did you see the whole pictures about how his leg
No,
looked?
I didn't see it. I'm just want to look it up now.
Oh,
Just
you don't want to look it up. You
no.
just
I want to look it up now. Where is it? I just looking through the notes and try to
Oh,
find
was
it.
really bad. Well, so mid fight, he did a maneuver with his leg that was on the back, and his his leg just broke, snapped. So yeah, the game was stopped because of the doctor. I wonder why. Doctor got involved. But on the political side, guess who was watching the game live?
Not sure.
And got a lot of cheers when he walked into the stadium. Mr. Donald Trump.
Oh, your favorite.
And everybody was cheering USA, USA. And he was walked in by the president of the UFC, Dana White. It's not a secret that they're big friends, and Dana White was a big supporter of the Donald. So yeah, he was there as well, and he got a positive welcome from the
Oh,
stage. So yeah.
I just watched. Oh my god, that's ugly. That leg.
Oh, you watched the snap. Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh.
It can have an impact because they're on a strict diet before the games. They work out hard. He did a lot of kicks on the opponent's body, on Dustin. I'm gonna mispronounce his name. Dustin Poirier. Complicated name. So there's a speculation that his leg was snapped before the big crack, but we don't know. So we're gonna see. Obviously, a lot of people are celebrating this victory because we all know that Conor McGregor has an attitude, an ego, big as the tallest building in the UK. So yeah, I'm not happy for anybody hurting themselves, and must be a negative impact on his career. But we have to mention that he did have a big mouth. He said that he's gonna quote unquote kill his opponent. They're gonna remove him from the octagon in a stretcher. And guess what? He was the one who had to leave the octagon in a stretcher. So yeah, I'm a fan of Conor. I think he's an entertaining guy, but he changed a lot in the last couple of years. He's not as humble as he was at the beginning, and a lot of people are a bit fed up with him. He's just going back to the sports. He doesn't behave most of the time like a sportsman and more like an entertainer, which is fine. But then not gonna get my respect as a athlete if you don't behave like an athlete, because I think they should act and show an example.
Yeah. And on the other side, UFC is taking the place of WWF.
Yes.
And it has to be entertaining. So that's why it's happening. Let's jump on the next one because it's interesting. The Bezos versus Branson.
Big boys are playing. They compare who has the bigger rocket.
Yeah, and I would like to add something really fresh. That Elon Musk, the third one in the party, bought tickets to Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic.
Is he?
So he's got So basically, Musk buys ticket for Branson's space flight as Virgin becomes first in billionaire race with Bezos. So basically, he's hacking the game as always, and he just you can beat them, join them. So so he's just teaming up with Virgin, probably for the media. And he can say he was earlier in space than Bezos, probably. That's his game.
Yeah, because Bezos was in space. Well, not technically,
Yeah.
because there's a technical definition of how high you have to fly to be in space, and a lot of critics of Bezos say that, well, you were just in a high altitude flight, you were not really in space. And they say the same thing about Richard as well, that oh, it's just a high altitude flight. But yeah, you know what? It's high enough for me, to be honest with you.
Exactly, and Branson is the second oldest who was in space. He was 71, and the oldest who was ever in space was John Glenn, who was 77 in 1998.
I heard that he was getting ready for this for like 15 years or 14 years, working out, eating healthy, whatnot. Because yeah. For me, to be fair, when the sky starts turning black and it's daytime, I think that's high enough for me.
Exactly, that's true. All right.
Let's talk a bit about the hacks that recently happened. A big company, Cassie, was hacked, and a lot of news coming out. But most important news is there's like more than 1,000 companies involved. But the most important news is, and we're gonna see a lot of lawsuits coming out of this, that a lot of staff that worked for Cassia years ago said that they have flaws in their system, and they're most likely gonna be hacked. So it says a former employee told Bloomberg that in 2019 he sent Cassia higher-ups a 40-page memo outlining his security concerns. So we're gonna have a big trouble here. You're gonna see a lot of companies. Imagine more than 1,000 companies. I think 1,500 and still counting are being affected by this massive hack. So yeah, most likely we're gonna have a class action lawsuit against Cassia. And class action lawsuit, whoever listens and doesn't know, it's like when a group of people suing one person or one company, and they're usually big cases, takes years to go through them. But this is a nasty situation.
Yeah.
We're gonna see a lot of hacks in the future. We're gonna see more and more hacks.
And on the other side, we're gonna come up to the surface a lot what already happened and been just brushed under the rug. I think it's the same thing, is like big things just gonna come out, because that was between, how was it, 2017 and 2020, and it was when it was already reported. So it's like 3-4 years old, a story comes out now. So imagine how much other thing would be brushed under the rug, like companies being hacked and they just wanna hide it with paying the ransom or something. So
and
interesting
this
what will
affects
happen.
people as well. Like anybody who listens, like you have to educate yourself more about online security. You have to focus more on hygiene, online and internet hygiene. Just clear up your passwords, update your update your softwares. Make sure you talk with somebody who knows a bit about security. You have to cover your corners, because everything is done online now. Your ID is online, your taxes are online, everything is online, and it's really nasty when it happens to you and you don't know who done it. It's like not locking your door at night at your house and you don't know who's walking in and out. It's a bad situation. I had accounts hacked before, and it's nasty when you realize after a week or two that somebody's watching you, or somebody had an effect on your just silly things like a Spotify account. Somebody's listening to your using your Spotify account to listen to free music. So yeah,
Exactly, scary. So cybersecurity is on the rise. So not anyone want to be an expert, jump on that one, because a lot of people will need it.
According to Wall Street Journal, New York City opens cyber attack defense center, which is really good. If you guys don't know, New York has the highest budget for the police force, and now they are gonna have a cybersecurity defense center, we all need this. I talked recently with a Hungarian security expert, and he mentioned that Hungary only started like a couple of years ago to have like a security defense in their defense plan, which is, I think, about 15 years late. Never too late, but definitely a bit late. I was surprised when they said this only a couple of years ago they started hiring experts in the Hungarian military for online defense and offense, because sometimes you need both.
Yeah, definitely. The next 10 years is cyber warfare, and it's already started.
Yeah,
So
you don't need
when
bullets
it
for
comes
that.
to the surface, nothing. And it's already started. So it's good to see. When it makes to the news, it's already been, it's already been in development for a long time. So they didn't start today. So they are like on it for a long time, probably. Just now they come up public to even, a bit of branding and showing that we are going ahead with this one. I'm a bit surprised that, let's say, San Francisco hides it as Silicon Valley. Is it gonna join the forces here, or they gonna do something like all the tech companies are there? Are they gonna do
Silicon
something?
Valley in San Francisco has big issues. It's a failing state as California and a failing city as San Francisco. They have this law that you're not gonna get prosecuted if you commit a crime under $800. So in San Francisco, you have gangs of burglars walking into shops and picking whatever they want and walking out. And security guards are being told not to get engaged because there's no point, they're not going to win the lawsuit. So a lot of big brands like Walmart and Target, they just shutting shops in San Francisco with the plans of never reopening. It's just not profitable anymore to operate tech or like a grocery store in a city where the law is not being enforced. So yeah, I don't want to get too much into politics, but yeah, thanks Democrats for those great ideas of not to prosecute people who steal under $800. So yeah, if you do your weekly shopping, you just walk out. You don't have to pay for it. Nothing's gonna happen. Big news. Cuba, we have uprising in Cuba. People are shouting freedom, food, and vaccines. Mass protest in Cuba, backed by the US officials, as president urges support to defy foreign meddling. So if you guys watch it on YouTube, you can search it on Twitter. There's a lot of clips coming out of Cuba. People are fed up. I think it's a more than 60-year-old regime, and they don't want this anymore. Is it organic? Is it influenced by outside forces? Obviously, Americans said that they're supporting the uprising. We'll see. The same situation happened in '56 in Hungary, where America supported the uprising, and when shit went down, well, they didn't do much. Same thing happened in '89 in Romania. They got involved. They were affecting the revolution in Romania in '89, and again a lot of people got killed. America, well, they got involved after a year. Coca-Cola, McDonald's arrived. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen in Cuba, and if this is organic uprising, but it's happening now, and we'll see where we're going as the news gonna unfold. But I see clips. There's a couple of break-ins into shops. Obviously, a lot of people using this opportunity to take advantage, steal, loot, and just cause mass chaos. It's strange because we talked about it last week. The president of Haiti was executed. So in an organized fashion, like a big gang just raided his house. It's strange how we see uprisings and destabilization in certain areas of the world, and when it's happening, it starts like flooding over. So we'll see what's going to happen in Middle America, in the Latin islands. What's your opinion, Andras, about the whole situation?
Well, it's just looking a little bit that the tension is growing and pressure. I don't want to say for fact that is sponsored by America, but it looks like
If
America is.
if it
trying to
smells like a,
destabilize.
you know that saying, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck.
Exactly, but I don't have the facts for that one.
Let's
And
just wait.
obviously, but it's really yeah, we will unfold in another episode for sure. And it just looks like it's really like execution of the presidents. Another two president died in the area in the last 30 days, and they were like the Haiti president was really loud anti-vaccine, and they said they don't want any vaccine. They have natural remedies, and thank you very much. So it's hard to see, and now it's connecting news. Is the police chief is being questioned and accused that he was part of the assassination. Sorry. So in Haiti, sorry, it's not jumping from Cuba to Haiti, but same area. So yeah, tension is growing, disability is growing. Doesn't look nice.
Talking about tension, U.S. Air Force detonates hypersonic missile warhead for the first time. Here we go, here we go. Oh, we still didn't fix the cancer issue. There's still people starving around the world. But yeah, let's have a bigger, stronger, faster rocket. It's just yeah. I think the humanity has to get his priorities in order. Because this arms race is going on for what, 60, 70 years, more than that, since we stepped on the nuclear world. It's just an endless arms race, and who has the fastest and you know, deadliest weapons. And obviously the contract goes to Lockheed Martins, and I think it's $480 million you know, awarded by the Pentagon. So yeah, just 480 million, pocket money. Let's go into some TikTok news. I know you're a big TikTok fan. A clip was released on TikTok recently where we see a woman being duct taped on the seat on an airplane, on American airline, because she had a panic attack and she wanted to get off the plane. So I understand the reaction. I understand that she needed to be controlled. You don't want to have somebody just like trying to open the door of an airplane. But using duct tape, I don't know. I think we should have a more civilized options already in place for situations like this. And if I'm not mistaken, in America, I think in every flight there's a person, an official officer that's there since
Air marshals.
since air marshals, since they're there since 9/11. So I don't know if they equip with
I'm
duct
not
tapes.
sure if they are anyone. I saw a lot of videos similar like this, but as I know a few flight attendants, a lot of times you have to look. There's one person jeopardizing, let's say, 400 persons' life, and you are not. If there's no security person there, what the crew can do. It's not happening. I saw mad videos about these.
Oh yeah,
And
7,000
they have to control the situation. If you think about it, somebody who is not a security person, but they are trained how to avoid situation. And there's, if it's like 2, 3 stewardess there, like flight attendant, it's probably not easy. So I wouldn't judge them that much on it. Obviously, it's not the best way. Agree. But they need to protect the other passengers. So we were not there. Yeah, it looks
you have to come up with quick ideas. You don't really have a lot of options debating of what's really the best idea. So yeah, just thought I'm mentioning it. Another TikTok news. I cannot pull up the source now, but if you guys Google it, you can find it. TikTok is banning has an AI system that automatically recognizes nudity and violent content. So automatically they're gonna get banned, which I think it's a good thing, looking at the average age of TikTok users. Another good news, TikTok is helping young people use cash wisely. So it's called FinTalk, where we see a lot of TikTokers giving out financial savings advice. It can be dangerous as well. There's a lot of scams going around, people selling courses, people selling pump and dump schemes on stocks, on cryptocurrencies, you call it, you name it. But all in all, there's a couple of really good advices where I remember when I was a child, I didn't really get any financial advice from anybody. So if you regulate it a little bit, I'm happy with that. But completely scraping a TikTok off of financial advice, I don't think long term it's a good idea. So yeah, I think it's a good thing.
It's like I think like every channel, if you find an authentic source, it doesn't matter if you find the right voice. Doesn't matter if it's LinkedIn, YouTube, or whatever. If it's a approved voice by the community, usually it's good. But all the time, do your own research, as it says. An interesting link to it: that TikTok banned crypto promotion. So TikTok influencers are now not allowed to do promoted posts for crypto. So which is, I think it's a good news because it was the, let's say, the nest of pump and dump schemes with Twitter together.
Talking about crypto and scams, in 2017 was really famous of companies changing their name and putting something in their names that it's related to cryptos or blockchains just to pump up the price. And one case was closed now where SEC, Security and Exchange Commission, fined a company, Long Island Iced Tea, who decided to change their names to Long Blockchain and saw a sudden rise of share prices, I think 13% if I'm not mistaken, and you see a lot of inside traders profiting from this, knowing the inside information that they're going to change their name, so they loaded up on stocks and obviously dumped it as soon as they saw that it's not going to rise anymore. And looking back, since 2017, this company didn't implement or worked in anything related to blockchain or crypto technology. So I thought I mentioned that, a Bitcoin Insider article. Let's gear up a little bit.
I remember that one. It was.
Yeah, I remember that as well.
Yeah, it was one of the big news, but I don't think the scam went away, so it's still.
Yeah, it was still going on. A bit of good news. Let's just not focus on the negative news. Giant panda no longer classed as endangered after population growth in China. China says so. It's categorized now as vulnerable, and they have 1,800. So that's a good news. Who doesn't like pandas?
Really good. Yeah, exactly. Amazing.
I saw a meme a couple of years ago, like, don't be racist, breed more like a panda. He's white, he's black, who cares? And he's cute. A bit of a big corporations not giving a damn about the environment. Southwestern Water fined a record £90 million for deliberately pouring sewage into sea. So do we have a company here who decided, like, well, just like let it in there, just like who cares? And the company fairly got fined for this. I don't know if it's a lot, 90 million for a company this size, or a small fine, but at least they show an example that it's not just the profits, it's not the short-term gains or the shareholders. We have to look at the environment. It's not all economics. If you don't look at the environment, what you're doing to the environment is not really a scalable long-term business, because we have only one planet. Last time I checked, there's no other alternatives. So if we screw this one up, you're not going to be able to eat money. So we have to take care of the environment. Next news. Not a good news. Oh, and rarely I say positive things about Biden, but when there's something good coming out, I have to address it. So, good news is Biden has cancelled $1.5 billion of student deaths for victims of for-profit school frauds. So we have here a situation where in America higher education became a profitable. So a lot of the banks are in this. They're giving loans out to 18-year-old kids who don't really know what they want in life. Universities cash on this. They rank up the prices, so it's like a inner circle where banks are giving the loans, universities coming up with different degrees that you spend a lot of money on, and end of the day you're not really gaining anything. You're leaving school with a lot of debts and no job perspectives. And Biden said, which respect for that, $1.5 billion are being scraped off of this student loans. Perfect. Come on, Biden.
Yeah, it's good. And I see something related to that they said with the student loans and plus how like the amount of loans what is out in America, they have to start like canceling people's loans because they are in this whole spiral and it's just down. So they need to really think about something like a reset. So that was an interesting thing. I'm not sure. I don't know any finances background on that one. Just I mentioned it that people are already talking about that.
Yeah, trying to pull up the article right
Like
now.
the debt
You're
canceling
talking
and
about
reset.
Wells Fargo, isn't it? The Wells Fargo.
Fargo, it would say yes. No, Wells Fargo is stop giving out personal debt
Personal
and
line of credit.
limit.
Yeah, this was 3 days ago.
Exactly. So it started to limit, and somebody was mentioning it was the same action what triggered the 2018. It was a sign of the 2008 crash. Same thing happened. They started to limit the personal credit lines, and after it, the crash happened. So somebody says it's a sign of that.
Peter Schiff, he's a really good person on this subject. He basically predicted the 2008 crash. If you guys want to have a good laugh, go on YouTube and search Peter Schiff was right. And he was blowing the horn for like 10 years. Everybody called him crazy. Everybody said that he's crazy. And look what happened. Now again, he's blowing the horn. He's advising people on stay away from risky investment, including cryptocurrencies. He's not a crypto fan. He said no, he's not getting into it. He said signs like this, Wells Fargo shutting personal lines of credit, it's the first sign when banks realize that they're going to be screwed long term. People not going to repay their loans. And if we see a hyperinflation, it's not going to be good for the banks, but it's going to be good for the customers. So if you own £10,000 for the bank, and let's say we're going to see a hyperinflation, you still own the bank £10,000, but their money is not going to worth much. So that's why I think banks are a bit in a defense mode now. They're not giving out loans because we don't know what the Fed is going to say. They're going to increase interest rates. They're not going to increase interest rates. We will see. Bits on the positive news side as well. A quick one. Nanofiber membrane makes seawater drinkable in minutes. So this is a new technology that we're working on. We already have technology that can desalt seawater. I don't know the exact technical details for that, but it's really expensive procedure. You need a lot of electricity, but with this new technology you're gonna easily convert seawater into drinkable water, and I think that's good news. I love when I see technology fixing problems like this that creates a situation where people are gonna have a better life and a healthier life. UK ad regulators to crack down on misleading crypto ads. So you have crypto ads in Amsterdam. Somebody told me you have a whole train covered in Bitcoin ads. You have anywhere you go on Facebook, even billboards now, you have ads of cryptocurrencies. It has to come with a necessary label where people realize that it's not all hunky-dory. You need to be careful with it, isn't it, Andras? What do you think about it? Is it a risky investment?
Exactly. It's risky. It's a high risk, high return investment as always, or high loss investment. So it's definitely needs to be regulated and cannot be like the advertising be like a wild west, because
as the popularity goes, the scams and everything is growing. So people need to be really aware of everything where they put their money on. So if something shows up that you're gonna make 87% a year guaranteed, uh, it doesn't look everybody would doing this. So if somebody comes up with these kind of things, you have to think about it. Isn't it a little bit too good to be true?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the only thing. And it's just if you can answer this question like really objectively, then usually you can spot the bad things pretty soon.
A bit of a weird news. A smuggler caught with 256 Intel Core processors wrapped around him in cling film. So border control found on his body 256 Intel Core i7 and i9 processors, trying to smuggle it into Hong Kong. So yeah, chip shortages, there we go. People are not smuggling drugs over the border, they're smuggling processors. That's a weird weird news. Anything to add to that, Andras?
Not much. Just would be interested. Is it related to cyber warfare? The whole chip shortage
because of lockdowns.
No. I mean, no. Just in a long run, that it's like, is it maybe a tactical move of like limiting the supply of something? It's like limiting supply of any infrastructure. So I was thinking, is it could be like a controlled action or not?
Yeah, like Kissinger, Henry Kissinger, where he said, "Who controls the food supply controls the world," basically. So it's same with chips. Like if you control the chip supply, you control countries. You're not gonna have war between two countries if they don't have the necessary technology behind it. What are you gonna use?
And
forces?
if you think, and the other thing is like infrastructure. When you control infrastructure, you control everything. Look at countries in China and how they doing with train lines or what is it, seaports. So it's interesting. So chips are basically related to any technological thing. So we can look at it as an infrastructure
another quick
element.
news. FTC launching investigation into Amazon's MGM acquisition. So Amazon is pushing into the media business. You know, Amazon Prime. You've got Amazon Prime account. You get Amazon Music, Prime videos for free. So they basically giving it away on a loss, and they just acquired the MGM Studios. And how it looks is, on the surface you don't really realize what's going on, but on this article, how Amazon controls virtually everything you watch. Then we go into Amazon Web Services, which is not Amazon.com. It's a different service where they provide cloud service for different companies like Disney Plus, HBO Max, Paramount, I think Netflix. As well. So you when you look at the whole picture, you realize, oh, wait a second, Amazon is actually controlling what we see, because Amazon can turn on the tab, can turn down the tab on different live streaming services. So if Amazon doesn't want Netflix to compete, they just have to dial it down a little bit, because studies show that even a loading seconds difference or millisecond difference on websites creates a habit that you're not going to visit that website on long term, because it loads slower than other websites. So if you have Amazon Prime that is instant click and he starts the clip, then people gonna automatically go to that website, and you can kill the competition without any proof. Same thing with YouTube. YouTube had to decide of what we're gonna take the option. Always high quality. If somebody clicks on a link, is YouTube automatically playing high quality where you have to wait a little bit until it loads in, or it starts playing on a lower quality until it buffers the higher quality and then automatically switches in the background. And this is the major flaw with other live streaming websites. They don't do this, and YouTube does this because they realize that you get more clicks if you start low and then just gradually increase. So loading time is really important, and I think they got caught red-handed with this move. A bit of another quick tech news. Did you ever play Super Mario, Andras? You remember the game?
Yeah. I played. I used to
Super
play.
Mario 64 copy sells for record-breaking $1.6 million. Wow, that's just crazy. People have way too much money
It's
in their bank
brand.
accounts.
It's memories
I
and
don't know
brand.
if you guys know, but Fitbit was acquired by Google. So Google is in the health industry as well now. They're using your data, not just what you look at, what you browse, your emails, your chats. They're looking into your health stats as well. And I predicted this, and now there's an article in New York Times. We cannot read it because it's behind the paywall. Fitbit detects lasting changes after COVID-19. So Fitbit is detecting on their users that after they go through the whole shebang, they have lasting impacts on their health levels. Interesting. And Google knows this about you. I wonder when we're gonna see. We already see in China. I heard artificial intelligence is being used while you using your health insurance, car insurance. So when you apply for your health insurance, they go through different questions, and you have to turn on your webcam. So AI is analyzing your tone and your face expressions if you're truthful when you're applying for your health insurance or car insurance, and after you go through, you have a health issue or car accident, it's the same procedure. They look at you when they ask you about the accident or the health issue you have, if you're lying. So you're gonna see this technology being implemented in the insurance industry as well. And I just can't wait until we see Fitbit selling you private health data to insurance companies.
Exactly. Just imagine already. So Google has way too much data on us just by Android and the phone already. So it's like all the steps and everything. They know exactly when you sleep and everything. You don't need a smart tech. But Fitbit is a big brand built out and with trust, and a lot of people use it. So it's a good move on Google to buy something like that and even provide a better service. But everything comes with a price on data.
Last couple of quick news so we don't go over an hour. Death Valley hits 130 degrees heat waves, 130 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius. For the European ones, 54 degrees Celsius. In America, Death Valley, USA, number one.
It's hot.
It's fucking hot. Let's go into the CV news. Fauci says it's inexplicable some Americans aren't getting vaccinated despite data. So the data says that the latest data with the Delta variant says that most of the people who die from this variant are people who are not being vaccinated, unvaccinated people. What do you think about that, Andras, as somebody who is in the club? Don't want to, share
yeah,
your
I have one
medical...
vaccinations and about to book the second one. So let's see. I'm thinking about it, and there's way too much things
way
coming
too many
up, and a
things
lot of
happening.
people.
Another thing, extra information for you to decide of how you're getting, onwards. Care doctors say that COVID patients are younger this time, so we see a drop on average age of people who do get admitted to hospital, that it's getting lower and lower. So it looks like the whole virus is changing and has a bigger impact on our lives. But what's strange is Australia is ramping up his campaign on TV, radio to convince people to go out and get the vaccine. They did a clip, and they decided last year not to release it because the pandemic wasn't as bad as they thought. But now they decided, well, it's time to release those promotional clip to get people convinced to go out and get vaccinated. And you see everywhere people sharing the plasters on their hands, sharing that they got vaccinated. What do you think about it, Andras? What's your opinion? Oh, and let me just give you the last article before you give your opinion. BBC says heart inflammation linked to Pfizer and Moderna jabs. I had a previous article of 2-3 weeks ago where the ladies reported that after getting the vaccine, their periods changed and got impacted after the vaccine. So what's your opinion about this?
Yeah, I heard that one, and I heard from a personal experience there with the period changing. Is
personal experience.
No, I heard personally from someone,
okay.
that this happened, and the advertising campaign is like how I know the media is probably none of those people had a vaccine. Who's on those campaign is just someone who's involved in video production. So it's just something. It's a campaign. It's well, as always, they try to push people towards their own agenda, and it's not necessarily bad. I don't say it's made from that, but Sydney was in lockdown now for 2 weeks, I think, or is it still maybe on lockdown?
Oh, they're constantly going in and out.
No, they just had but they had the strong one because they following that if it's any rise of cases happens, lockdown straight away the area, and it was like something like 50 cases or something, so it wasn't like a huge
in New Zealand they even tougher on this. So if it comes to 1 or 2 numbers, they're like straight away locking down the borders. They don't play around. That lady in charge over there, she doesn't care, like straight away lockdown.
I like her what she does and how she does it, and whole charisma. I don't know. I don't live there, so I don't know how effective her is. But it seems like people really like it.
Now you're talking. A lady that has a charisma and impacts millions of people's lives. Debatable.
Well, I don't think so. She's a leader, and she's a true leader. And after we can judge is it good or bad.
Well,
but
history will judge. Let's just say that. We had a couple of so-called great leaders in the last 100 years, and you know, people thought that they're great leaders, and turns out they weren't. So that's it for today. 56 minutes live on YouTube and on Clubhouse. Catch me on Clubhouse. How about that? 1 hour and 11 minutes with the warm-up. So thanks for being here. I'm gonna stop the live stream. We're gonna live stream on more platforms. In the description, find the platforms. We have Telegram group. We have a Clubhouse group. I'm gonna probably start a green room club just in case. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, all the major streaming platforms. And thanks for being here. If you have anything to add, use the comment sections on our YouTube channel.